Hey, it's Kyle, and I'm here with my overall thoughts for episode 8 and 9's Pandora performances. I'm actually gonna do a little special insert that I kind of wish I did more of before, but I decided why not start now. After watching all the full cams and everything, it's just like things that you don't actually notice in the original performances. So both bad things and good things I'm just gonna point out if I felt like there was something I should point out. And I'll start with the bad thing. Bad things. There aren't that many. So Kepler, I didn't realize I put on sleeves, and like in hindsight, it's symbolic because like it's kind of they're growing and becoming, I assume, angels because of the whole wings, and the sleeves are like their wings. But it wasn't noticeable in the actual performance, and I felt like it was honestly a waste of time for the performance where they could have been doing more stuff, because the sleeves weren't noticeable enough during the performance, even in the full cam. Unless you saw them putting them on, it's just a giant question mark why. In Vivi's Cindy at the end of her dance break, it was just really awkward. She was frozen like this for Unha's part for a really, really long time, and I felt like it could have been a choreo thing, but she could have like phased down or something, but instead she just stayed there, and it was really awkward. And then for pantomime, which Sonios, this was actually the worst one, which kind of made me want to make this in the first place, because Solo did something extremely unprofessional at the end. And unprofessional is the best way to put it. She couldn't see her silk, which was hanging there when she looked. She didn't see it, I guess. So then she walks around the stage with her hands like this, like, where the hell is it? Like, as if someone screwed up instead of her. And it was just very entitled, I guess. And it really was off-putting seeing that. But luckily, only in the fan cam. But I was like, oh, that's like the most one of the most unprofessional things. I didn't even expect to see something that bad. On the good sides, Bahie, she picked up Yaso's cloak very fast, very quickly, threw it to the side, joined it like nothing happened. Wouldn't have noticed if it weren't for the full cam. So that was really nice of her, professional. There's actually a backup dancer when there are 6 guys that come on during Kepler with poles or half poles, and there's a backup dancer which is most center, downstage left. Stage left and stage right, by the way, means the dancer's perspective. House left, house right means audience perspective, but most people use stage directions. Downstage, upstage, that's a different topic, but you can just know down is front, up is back. There's a history about that. I don't think this is the right place to explain it, because this is gonna be a long video. But basically, center, downstage left, there was a backup dancer who's extremely insane with like cleanliness, specificity, and dynamics with hitting the movements. So that was just unexpected from backup dancer, and he stood out actually from like everybody. Shout out to Mashiro and her fear of heights for her second solo section. It was nearly twice her height, which honestly, from an audience perspective, it doesn't seem that high. But when you're actually in something and like on a platform, you're like, and when you look down, you're like, I'm actually really high up, even if it doesn't seem like it from far away. It's one of those things that it's a lot harder being in it than watching it. So respect for her for having to do that. Vivi's their cheerleading lift, which I don't actually know the term for. It was really clean going up and down, and especially the down was extremely smooth. Like, they came down and Unha was like basically set for her to start her singing. There's a section in the middle where the backup dancers held like silver cards up, spelled Vivi's and then flipped to the butterfly for Navi, their fandom name, Butterfly. And it was just super, super clean canon, aka Ripple, of how they like flip, 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 and then they all flip together for the butterfly symbol. That was really cool. And then this is just a good job, OMG, for professionalism. Later in the dance break, she whipped her hair so hard that she actually threw herself off balance, but she saved it, and you couldn't tell if you were just watching the actual stage. Actually, in the full cam, you can't really tell. For pantomime, I'm going through this really fast because this is gonna take forever anyways. The best part of the whole the best part of the whole 2 weeks of Pandora, Luna in the lift, me hating lifts. She matched the music perfectly because there are 3 beats or 3 hard-hitting notes in the music, and she goes up, I'm the queen. She looks forward as if she's looking down on everyone, and then she does a little like smirk at the end. 3 beats, 1, 2, 3. It was like insane perfection for that lift. And then Dayoung's kick, while partnered by the backup dancer after their whole like mannequin section, it was just really, really nice. Her leg was like surprisingly really super clean line, pointed foot, and just I didn't expect it from an idol because most don't point their feet. Like if you look at the rest, most of them have lower legs or they're kind of like janky, their foot's flexed because they're in heels. Like Dayoung's leg, really nice. Brave Girls, Yoojung, just near the latter half after she changed to heels, I believe, you could see she was fighting back tears. I don't know if that was emotional or because the little lift thing that happened before, she like kind of was late. I assume it was because of emotions because it was after the video of them winning something, but she was also tripping over her heels. So both fighting her tears and dealing with heels. I was like, she's just trying her best to hold it in. And then Hyolyn, she kept it professional when the fan or backup dancer or whoever that was literally like went in for the hug and like kind of smashed into her like face to face. And then also after that, when Hyolyn was doing ad libs, the fan like abruptly turned to her, and Hyolyn was like about to ad-lib to the front, and then she saw her turn, so she was like ad-libbing back to her and then to the front, and she kept her cool, and also she kept her voice going, which is really nice to see, because the backup dancer or fan or whoever, her energy was like up here, and I think Hyolyn was just like, oh, I'm glad you're having fun. It's nice to see. There were, yeah, I didn't say anything about Luna just because there wasn't anything extremely that stood out for me on a full cam that I wouldn't have seen in the original that I was like, oh, or oh. So that's why it's not that I'm leaving them out, it's just that there was nothing that fit in this category, I guess. Overall thoughts about the performances, I guess there were goods and there were not so goods. Mainly it's hard to say when some of them have previous performances to compare to, some of them don't, and some of them literally just don't have choreo from the original. But I'm gonna have to say that here's where all the hate comes in, but from everybody except whoever's first. I'm putting Vivi's last because honestly this falls under special stage. There was almost nothing new other than the little bits of choreo they changed, which were almost not noticeable. It was all relied on the backup dancers to make it different, and I think that's not worth being a Queendom stage when everyone's like, I want to be on Queendom to show a different side of myself, to show what we can do other than what we can normally do. But this did not show anything new, in my opinion. Yeah. So Vivi 6th, and then the middle ground is pretty hard, but I'm gonna have to say Luna. Only they did a lot of changes from the original, yes, but aesthetically, theme and everything, it was very similar to the original. Like, it didn't, I wouldn't say it's as lack of difference as a special stage, because they did a lot of choreo changes and staging and everything, backup dancers, everything. The only thing that was the same, I think, was that one half of the dance break section. They even used a side stage for like a spider web, a butterfly being caught in spider web, blah blah blah. But I just felt like because the original was so strong, I would rather watch the original to that. So their attempt to again show something new and spectacular didn't come through when they already had something. It's really hard to go off of that. The next one is probably Hewland Bay. More haters come at me. I guess there wasn't much substance in the dancing. Also, she is restricted by her heels for sure. Her vocals were great when she was singing. You could surprisingly actually tell when she was not singing more clearly than her other stages. I guess just because maybe in these, honestly, in the Fandora stages, there was more. Maybe they weren't allowed to use as much backtrack, because I think it's an overarching, everyone had to vocalize more this week, or these 2 weeks. This one day. I thought it was really cute bringing the supposed fan, on stage. Fan was actually really good at dancing. She was ready to own the stage. So conceptually, it was really cute, and it also tied in the beginning and the end. I just felt like if it weren't Helen for her stage presence, which of course does matter, I don't think people would rate her as highly as she is, I guess. Yes, great vocals. Dance, concept, there wasn't much to go off of. So that is why I am putting her 4th. For Brave Girls, who I just spoiled as 3rd, Brave Girls is 3rd. They kept it going. Their whole thing was like going for emotional. Going from we were nothing to now we're here, we're trying, we're pushing, we have at least done something. Cinderella slippers, that was a big part of it, like going from peasant to princess kind of deal. That was a big factor of it. I really liked the remixes of the bringing 2 different classical pieces into it, like pieces of music, like Pachelbel Canon, and the other one, which I don't know the name of. If anyone knows the name of it, comment below, please, because I don't remember how to look it up even. It was nice seeing them change the dance to be more similar to how the remix was also. But I think the thing that has me putting it higher is the beginning to end, emotional factor and story. My second is Kepler. Their dance is crazy. Their choreo, their dance, and everything is crazy. Conceptually, it was kind of because there wasn't much concept, but their dancing and choreo is just... It could be because I'm a dancer that it sticks out more in my head, but that's like up here. Also, they were able to give more lines to other people other than it kind of being like the Chaehyun show for the high notes, but she is... Here's another backlash comment. This is like where I get flamed from every fandom, but their vocals are not their strong suit. Their dances are strong suit. So when they have to do something like the boys, where they're like Jessica and Taeyeon parts, even Sohyun parts, where they're belting or ad-libbing, it's gonna be hard. But they were trying to sing live, which is respectable, along with their dancing. Yeah, I guess that's why I put them second. And first, I mean, that only leaves Cosmic Girls. Pantomime, straight to finish, straight from beginning to end storyline. The funny thing is, in hindsight of watching that one episode, when they talked about, a fan was like, there's no point, like, it doesn't make sense to have a story that you have to explain. This is literally what I guess I've been going for since my first video. Like, if you're watching performance, you shouldn't need an explanation. It should be visible to just an audience member watching it, because not everyone's going to see the backstory and the behind the scenes. So that was probably the best comment that made sense for everything in Queendom, which I wish everyone would think about, but they thought about it, and that's why their performance made so much sense. Performance-wise, it was great. There were obviously standouts and people who don't fit the concept as much, but overall, they all did the concept really well. The choreo was also really nice. The song is a banger. And that's why I'm putting it first. Just everything was done really well, I'd say. Okay, except for the silks and Sola and her silk. Those are the only things that really bother me in it. And that's it. That's the end of this week. I'm getting some flame shields because I was really hard on this one, especially after the dance units. The dance units, all three of them were so good that some of these were a letdown, in my opinion. Well, like, comment, subscribe, click notification, ring bell for notification, blah blah blah, things I'm supposed to say because it's a YouTube video. Comment if you disagree, your own rankings, how you feel. Blame me if you want, but honestly, I'm not gonna reply unless it's constructive because there's nothing to reply to. I do actually like hearing people's opinions, and because some people have been giving really thoughtful opinions, and it also makes me think, and then I can always respond. Like, I don't know everything. Some people show me and tell me things, I'm like, oh, huh, yeah. So yeah, I'm always open to shit. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear. Wow, this has been super long. Thanks for coming. Probably make last ones you'll get from here for the finale. Goodbye.